All right, so we're going to kick it back off, and we actually have a gank going in here at the top lane. We see Sejuani running for her life now as Sandwich trying to run him down. But so quick trade actually in the top lane between Rumble and Jace. In the bot lane, we actually see that Laud actually with slight lead, but both of these champions right now, actually has a kill here. I don't actually know where he got the kill. Looks like he was actually involved in the early phase actually with Jace actually got the kill on that. So that's actually where that came from. So just catching back up here as we hop in the game and fixing stuff around. And hopefully should have no more problems going forward. But it looks like Jace with a pretty early lead there. Actually, Roshan and getting over Ahri's come down. They didn't catch this. This is all sorts of trouble. Needs to let the charm. Oh, I thought the charm split, but it actually catches Griffle. And yeah, that's lights out at that point. And, just great, positioning by, and great strategy by NotRoshan's team. Just basically like, hey, let's feed our workhorse right now. Let's get some ganks off in bot lane and rotate Ahri out.
Yeah, so great here. Great, getting out of lane, shoving lane as Ahri and getting out of lane, which is, that's kind of Fizz's weakness, right? Fizz doesn't have a whole lot of wave clear early on. It looks like he is level 6. He does this with his ult. Ignite was down. I don't know. Did you already mention that Fizz had a kill?
No, actually. Well, I was going to talk about at first I thought actually that both him and Griffle had a kill, and I was wondering how that happened. But wasn't the case, actually. So Fizz does have a kill onto Ahri in that mid lane with that early aggression, but now that Ahri is a little bit more elusive, it's going to be really hard for Fizz to just go do that again. So I think it's going to be... Ahri should have a better lane going forward.
Yep.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Like if Fizz can, and kind of lock her down and just kind of, prevent her from, maybe she will get out of lane and roam a little bit, but this is where Fizz is time to shine. He says like, hey, I'm going to take an experience lead. I've got a kill. I've got the double Doran's ring, and let's see, is her ult still down?
She doesn't have her ult yet. She's not 6.
There you go. So yes, her ult is down.
Yeah.
It should come up here shortly. She should be hitting 6 soon. But that would be an excellent time for her, for Fizz to kind of make a play. But it looks like he'll probably go grab blue first, which means that his ult's going to have a really short cooldown. So anytime that Ahri might make a crucial mistake, Fizz might be able to capitalize.
Oh yeah, especially what we heard last game where Fizz was just kind of like this runaway freight train. Like the bot lane is kind of the lane to watch for Roshan's team. Fizz in that mid lane is going to be the guy to watch, and we're going to have to, it's going to be up to 2, like, to see if he can actually get out of lane as well, because that's where he's going to start to get really scary if he can come down this bot lane and switch, an advantage they thought they had, and they're baiting him into Jarvan. Nicely done. Howling Gale comes across, and Law decides, hey, I got to go for this. They have a ward for it. They are going to trade 1 for 1, and now it's just Roshan's job to get out. He burns that flash off of the Cataclysm, and he's going to be safe.
Yeah, excellent play there. So the pink ward, they dropped the pink ward, had Jarvan flag toss in standard over, and then excellent bait there by GGIce. It would have been much better if he was level 6, as he would have sustained that, but I think at that point, Laud also would have been level 6, and they would have him deal with Varus ult.
Roshan was doing a pretty good job there trying to stall it, but I think got a little bit scared that maybe Caitlyn and crew were hanging around, so he actually didn't quite hold that turret, that wave all the way over the turret. One thing you can do, especially if you know that they're backing, is you could actually just go into the bush and just run in and out of it and actually, pull the creeps aggro that way and keep them in place. And you actually won't take a lot of hits from it because they're losing sight of you and they're constantly just kind of being held in place, and you can freeze them that way as well, which is usually a pretty good option if you want to take a lot of damage. But again, if you thought Caitlyn and crew might have snuck into that brush, then it wasn't safe. So making the smarter play there, and actually they've snuck down Ahri yet again. They had no wards to cover this. Fizz is probably, alarms are ringing right now for them, and NotRoshan just kind of maybe baiting out a little bit here, getting pretty low, might get them to commit, but we'll see. And then Justin's actually going to waste a lot of time in the spot lane. Fizz actually going up and farming Raise actually due to the fact that they are missing. So yeah, and then top lane,
so an entire
Ish is about to go down.
Well, so here's what happens, right? So an entire creep wave gets going to get eaten. Entire creep wave plus siege minion is going to get eaten by the turret, and potentially a second wave as well.
Oh wow, ult's him on top of the Rumble ult, and that is good night. You cannot stand on top of the floor candy right there, and in that case, all sorts of bad, and nicely executed by top lane. They kind of won out that patience game and got a really good initiate on there and followed up with one of the best ults in the game, and now we're actually going to see the Enlighted enlightened, I guess. I don't know, because he's good. I don't know. But basically, getting off of some stuns there to cover him on the way out. Actually wasn't using that offensively. Knew that they actually would be in a little bit of trouble. And so Griffle and GGIce actually reestablishing some oomph in the bot lane and actually up in CS now.
Yeah, and Fizz did get spotted by that ward that just faded. He's not going to know that it just faded. But he's going to rotate up top because it looks like Sejuani, Sans ult, and Ahri's up here. So I don't know if he's going to look to make a play. It'd be very tough for 1 versus 2. He is level 9. But yeah, I think he's just going to sit here and he's going to farm this creep wave.
Yeah, still just a little bit too squishy to kind of make that play into 2 players at that point. And yeah, I mean, I actually think he did see the ward fade, and so that's actually why he was tipped off and was like, all right, I can't get anything here. They know I'm here. I know they know I'm here. So he either could have waited or he could have took a lot more damage onto his turret, and he decided that he didn't want to give up more damage on mid turret because that's kind of his bread and butter right now, to keep that turret up and not open up the map for Roshan's team.
Yeah, Fizz is certainly looking to make a play, and Griffle is going to be a little bit in trouble as the slow here from Lulu is not going to land. That Glitter Lance just missed. But they do know that that buzz, I think they might be going for the exact same
Oh,
thing
nice
as
charm. As in the instant that Fizz comes in, he gets absolutely punished there. But they do have another sneaky move here by J4, waiting to go in on the Lod, kind of taunting him right there. The funny thing is, too, is like when you have a driver in a game, he looks like he is going to go for this ace of the hole coming through, blocked there by Sejuani. They know that Sejuani now is there as well, and the 3v3 is actually just going to stalemate here in the bot lane.
Yeah, Fat in a lot of trouble here. Going up against this Rumble. This Rumble definitely has an advantage. I think we've seen Sejuani up top twice now, and saving that ult for top lane. Poor Jace. He's been all 3.
Yeah, he got picked on early, got traded, and then got picked on again in top lane with Sejuani coming up. So, been a rough game for Fat. At the same token, too, it is one of those hard lanes, too, that as good as Jace is at staying away from Rumble, and he actually does have the knockback, so he has some good ways to disengage from Rumble. The problem becomes, too, is once Rumble gets ahead, it's just it becomes a hassle. And this might be his chance here. He actually has Rumble pretty low, uses his combo really quickly to get off some damage, and Rumble actually knows he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Gonna need to get off a good ult, actually throws in the brush. That's pretty standard right there. And now it's just gonna be, now the cooldowns are gonna come back around for Jace. Will he be able to persevere here? And it looks like he is gonna be able to pick off that kill and win that top lane trade. Nicely done. Kind of catching Rumble sleeping there. Just wasn't quite prepared for the damage. And just in case, Savage gonna help him push in this lane.
Yeah, they should be able to shove this. Ahri actually snuck up there, but they had a ward covered. Actually, nice pink ward there. I've seen a lot of pink wards here, especially in this early game, which is, if you're a gold player like me, you don't necessarily see a lot of pink wards coming out.
Pink wards are your friend.
But because they did notice J4 going top, they are going to make a play here for this dragon. This should be a relatively free dragon.
Yeah, no smite control, and Caitlyn kind of out of position, and really good, just smart team play call. And now they're actually going to rotate down to bot lane and see if they can get a pick. They do have 2 ways to stun up, so if they actually can catch anybody and they're not underneath the turret, they can pretty much just light them up and they're gone.
Well, I'm looking at, even with that dragon and they're up a kill, they're only up. Oh, Ahri. Is that going to be enough? Nope.
Oh, mobility OP, but misses the charm. The charm was lights out. Still going to be. Lands the Orb of Deception. Going to get him on the way back with that true damage. And Fizz getting really aggressive there and just getting punished. And Ahri's actually had really good reaction time this game by Ninjustin. So props to him. Being able to deal with that Fizz pretty solid.
Yeah, right before that went down, I was going to comment that the farming here by the red team is actually pretty good. The fact that they were down a kill and a dragon, and still in this game, money wise, they're less than 1,000 behind, or were less than 1,000 behind. It just shows that they're actually farming quite well. You see, Griffle does have more CS than Lod, who we were easily touting earlier before, and even though Jace has died so many times early, had definitely flashed the Varus ult there.
Yeah, that Howling Gale is going to catch, though. Caitlyn going to be able to save her support, though, by putting some pressure back onto Lod. Lod couldn't commit to go in there and get that kill, but we might see a charged up arrow possibly, though, if you want to sneak that in, but no, he's going to use it to clear.
Yeah, we're going to see Jace up about 25 CS. So between that and the kill that he just picked up one-on-one, he's, even if not ahead of gold against Rumble.
We can check. He actually is indeed 200 gold ahead. In bot lane, though, Lod, even though Griffel's been able to hold his CS, that's keeping him even. Lod still has that 3 kills, and still getting fed that way. But overall, still pretty even. We're actually going to see J4 pick up the mobility boots. So J4 really ahead of Sejuani so far in buy. Sejuani still has to go back and probably spend some gold to match him right now. But he's going to have a lot of mobility. He's going to actually have a bigger map presence than he already had sneaking around to that bot lane. One thing I was going to mention earlier about when you play against J4 is it's so like in to do like that the flag standard hop into that brush that's almost better to just put a ward up near their tri-brush or like over the wall so that you can just see him coming in that way. Just because typically, they can actually go pink ward that brush and then give him an in. And it's a pretty common move when there is a J4 in play. So you can kind of thwart him that way. And there's the big ult onto Rumble. Rumble going to equalizer. In response, to just decide to go ham onto Fat. But now he's actually going to overheat, so he has nothing left. So now he just has to juke and dodge and just waste some time till Ari can come here and clean this up here and flash out. But Fizz followed this up there, and dead Rumble.
Oh, the jukes.
Get eaten alive.
Oh,
but Justin, man, he's been pretty on point, and obviously you can tell very veteran Ari player just by how consistent he has been with landing all these skill shots, and they might pick up another one. Playful Trickster out of this, though. Foxfire easily going to clean it up, and Laud picking up the turret in the bot lane. Blue swinging back pretty, actually mid lane. So yes, Caitlyn actually has been taking the other turrets, but now they might get 2 out of this. J4 actually running back with his mobility, but should be able to defend it. So trading turrets back and forth, I'd say, mid turret, a better trade, especially if they're able to put a good, healthy amount of damage onto the second turret, which it looks like they are. J4 not going to be able to do too much harassment, but the Howling Gale misses. Ooh.
Yeah, they've got that turret down pretty low. There's no Cataclysm to follow this up if they wanted to hard engage. Not to mention they would be dealing with Janna, who does have her ult, so not much they can do there. So they're going to pick up mid turret, most of the second mid turret, and a top lane turret. So big swing here for the blue team.
Yeah, just trading lanes. Bot lane's going to go mid lane, top lane's going to go bot lane after dying, and mid lane's just going to go back top, push those turrets, and get off some good plays. But yeah, I have to say Justin's actually really impressed me with his Ari play. Obviously, really liked it last game, and now just coming through yet again with some really, really solid clutch skill shots.
And back to go up here and just probably sit up here and farm top for a little bit. He's going to either... I don't think he's going to freeze the lane because he can't afford to give up that much map pressure if he just sits up in top lane. I will see it'd be nice if he could like shove that wave a little bit and then maybe rotate mid and they could get a reverse mid lane turret, which would be helpful for them to get a little bit more of that map pressure. He's also going to be able to deal with siege a little bit. I think if it were me, I would try to rotate Jace into the mid to pick up maybe the next blue buff, and then they could focus on sieging a little bit more. I think that's going to be their strongest asset as they try to get back into this game. They're not that far out of it. They're only down about 3K. We've seen bigger deficits.
Oh yeah, today easily.
But
yeah.
Before that snowball gets a little bit bigger, before they give up that second mid turret, that's kind of what I would try to do. Fizz, I don't know how Fizz does versus Rumble if they were to just 1v1, but I think Fizz would have mobility boots coming out for Fizz. I think Fizz would have if they were just to go all in on each other. I think he does have kind of a gold lead right now, and he's also finished that.
Oh yeah, he should win if he goes all in, especially with Lich Bane.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has finished that Lich Bane. So
yeah, his burst damage is really good. He can playful Trickster, Equalizer if Rumble throws it down. Like there's not a lot Rumble will do if they actually just meet up and try to 1v1 in a lane. But Rumble has been happy, just kind of moving out and pushing up that bot lane. Now he's gone back, finished up his Sorcerer's Shoes, so he has a little more oomph behind him. Plus, he has a lot of utility now. He's picked up a Raiseyourweaponmedia Scepter as well. And Ari actually, with the Abyssal Scepter, able to lower, and the needlessly large rod now backing it up, actually has a lot, not only a bunch of damage, but is also reducing a lot of the MR of the enemy team. And it's going to be able to do some serious work because, the other team doesn't have an Aegis, where we actually see Aegis coming out of Sejuani. So their team fight really strong, actually, for Team Roshan right now. And it's gonna be one of those careful, footsie games now as they start to set their sights onto this dragon.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see an Oracle coming out soon here, especially on Roshan. We're about 20 minutes into the game. This is where they're gonna really want to pick up map control. They're gonna want to take this dragon, which I think they could do pretty successfly. We're gonna see that Rumble and Sejuani ult is up and available.
Not to mention if they bring it, if they land a clutch fire assault too, and they're not spread out, that's just lights out. red team needs to be really careful here.
But it looks like they are going to go ahead and get that dragon, that pink ward paying off. And pretty good clean take here for the dragon.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they were able to do that without any opposition. I wonder what was going through Team Roshan's kind of mindset right there. Like maybe they were thinking about the spot wave, but like I would have went, because if they land a good Sejuani ult followed up with Var Assault and then Equalizer, I mean red team's just done. Like I don't know how they necessarily deal with that. Like,
it could just be a conservative approach. Again, not all these players play together all the time, and it could be maybe a little bit of miscommunication. But it looks like, because Lod went bot, they came back and took a real quick early, just kind of a revenge turret. Now that they're taking that turret and that dragon, they're now only 1k behind, even with down 3 kills. So, real close game so far. I don't know. Like I said, I totally expect, now that dragon's gone. Ooh.
They're not. I don't think they're going to get him. They just slowed him. So, yeah, they're just kind of delaying his back right now. Rumble sort of doing the same thing with Griffle right now. Just trying to fight back a little bit here with some J support. Fizz actually top lane, so we might see them put in some pressure here just because they haven't backed up, but they don't actually have Lod, so I don't know how.
But this turret's really low, so I think they're going to take this real quick, and they're going to say, you know what, we prevented, we noticed that Jarvan wanted his back, we saw Fizz top, we're going to go ahead and just take this quick second mid turret, and it's going to open up a little bit more map control. Like I said, I definitely expect Roshan to be setting up an Oracle here soon. They're going to probably get some aggressive wards, some of that warding in the enemy team jungle, and look for a pick-off if at possible. Meanwhile, the red team's going to be like, hey, if they have the timer on their blue buff, it looks like Fizz is going to have the blue buff. They might be looking to roam a little bit, and then as well try to regain some of that control on, at least some sort of map control. So we look at their wards. They got their blue side warded out a little bit, but outside of that, they have no, I guess the one Baron ward.
Yeah,
So,
they have a pink ward over Baron. They have the smart wards that Roshan just put down because they're going to rotate to other places, and they'll be able to see, if someone's like cherry picking like this Caitlyn down there, they, and she's going for some wolves. They're going to be like, oh, she's right there. We can make plays other places on the map, and it's really good vision control. And right now they're outside of Red's kind of control over red buff, so they might be able to catch someone in transition. Looks like he's going to turn away just at the right moment. Fizz actually getting caught out of the brush, and now it's going to be kind of a clear game. The Shark does land, but it's on to Roshan now. It's not really a priority target, and they're not going to actually have that now to lock down anybody that they really want to with that slow that comes off of that.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't want to fight without Fizz ult. I think that would be a huge mistake, even though they have the Cataclysm, and they still have the Lulu ult. Lulu ult's going to be pretty strong. I don't know who Lulu's actually going to want to ult. I don't think they have to save that ult for Caitlyn, honestly, unless Ahri makes some sick maneuvers. Ninja style or Ninjustin style, and kind of gets into the back, the backside of Ahri, which are to the backside of the red team, and possibly get on Caitlyn. I don't think they have to worry about that. So I think we might see the Lulu ult go on J4. J4 is going to be able to start that big fight. He's going to get in there early. He's going to be doing just kind of setting up that first hard engaged team fight. Or they might save that Lulu ult for Fizz, because Fizz has no problem getting into into the team, whether it's the back line.
Yeah, he'll be a lot like Lissandra was in the, what Paulo's kind of job was. I mean, not quite as disruptive with CC, but still able to get there and basically soak up a lot of potential cooldowns by just being able to play full Trickster and dodge some attacks, especially once eventually he actually can work up and possibly get, an Hourglass if he really wants to work towards that. But right now, so much mobility kind of set up for their team. I mean, Fizz actually even picked up MOBA boots with a home guards. So really, really quick out the gate. And actually, now they decided they want to engage in here. Going to lead it off the bat. Already got someone very, very low. Equalizer catches 4 members, followed by a Sejuani ult. And this is going to be all sorts of trouble. J4 does get that Lulu ult, but now got a lot of members on red team on the route. And Caitlyn has nowhere to go. Already blown her barrier right there. Now it's 3v1. And I'm sorry, but Fizz, poor Fizz, like maybe he'll go in and try to make a play happen and pick someone off, but that's about all he can do because he's not going to be able to actually stop anything happening around this turret.
Yeah, Lod baiting that really well. He got really low, and they're like, oh, let's back out, guys. Let's back out. And then they're like, oh, J4. I saw the red flag.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going. I'm in. And
it's one of those tough positions where it's like it's like one person goes in on your team, and again, like you said, these guys don't play a lot together, so it's like, one guy goes in as the team, and the rest of the team kind of follows because the engagement has started. When really, as soon as red team saw J4 go in, they should have been like, piece, because walking down like this narrow alley with a team that has that much CC and an equalizer, like we talked about earlier, it's just asking to get lit up, and that's exactly what happened. And blue team, really good execution, and again, that bait just coming through is too tempting for Savage TF2, and those are the things that'll just get you. And unfortunately, it actually ended up getting the entire red team besides Fizz, who was able to escape out of it.
Yeah, and looks like Caitlyn is slightly looking to have vision. So Caitlin's going to want to back up here soon, but she might not be backing fast enough. That Janna passive OP. Oh, no.
Yeah, Janna didn't come up and around, so actually going to be pretty safe here. And
looks like they're going to have to forfeit their blue buff as well. Jace would really like this. I know Fizz has been taking it quite a bit.
I imagine the snipe will come in. They do actually have a smite here, although they do have full vision over this. The rest of the red team kind of encroaching in here. Yeah, they should be able to get it, but no. Sejuani looks like she stole it right at the last moment. Smite skills OP, random charm flying out here now. Might have another engagement here as Rumble just kind of waiting in the wings. Does have another equalizer on hand, so need to be careful just in this jungle positioning. And you see them actually coming for it, and there it is. And it's, oh man, this is all sorts of trouble. Jace actually getting the ult now to try to escape out of this. He's torn down, doesn't even matter. And over the wall comes Sejuani, getting a little bit more CC on there. The ult coming out from Varus, going to be able to lock him down. Huge burst coming on to GGIce, going to get picked up in return here. Now trading off tower aggro so they can try to be able to take down this turret. They're going to be able to do it. Janna ult coming in to sustain this push, and they should be able to get more.
Yeah, every time they're setting up Sejuani in the Rumble. Sejuani in the Rumble. And it's paying off dividends. That's one of the best two-man combos I can think of right now. I don't even know what they can do to stop that. They don't have any real sort of anti-initiation because they're all go hard, right? They've got the poke from Jace, but other than that, it's Jarvan comes in, FaZe goes in, and what it's doing is it's causing them to clump. It's causing them to possibly get possibly a charm. They're fighting and Lodge a little too long.
Yeah, blue just got way too greedy there. Like, able to still pick up a kill, but they hung around so often. Like, and even Rumble got lazy and like tanked the turret and pulled a me and just took tank tower aggro and died. And that even ended up giving up a kill to J4, who came in and just flag standed him. Now they're also going to be picking up a dragon. Like, that's a huge mistake. Like, even though they had a lead now, they just gave up so much by just giving up 4 kills for pretty much nothing. And then now also a dragon on the back of it. Like,
I know if Death Timers were a little bit longer, they might have pushed for Baron instead. I think the problem was Death Timers were just short enough that I don't think they would have been able to take it. Plus, Caitlyn was down. So they would have definitely wanted Caitlyn for that. So now we should see some oracles. We should see a lot of map pressure come up from the blue team. They'll probably look to take a free dragon or bait another dragon. Or, sorry, they'll try to look to take Baron and look to bait a Baron fight. And we'll probably see the Sejuani Rumble ult combo one more time.
Yeah, I mean that's a great team fight combo. Even though they've been behind in CS, in a lot of their lanes, they're still picking up tons of kills basically off the back of that. And of course, Lot again, 7-2-2 has a huge gold lead. You can see it in the items over Caitlyn right now. And even though they're pretty much dead even in CS, it just like kind of doesn't matter. And with that team fight combo they have, it's just way more potent than right now than what Red's putting out. And Law disconnects. Hey, that could be a key to victory. We just talked about how strong he is. If he's not in the game, pretty good chances.
Here's what we're gonna do. So these guys all kind of know each other a little bit. It's probably like GGIce being like, "Yo, Griffle, I need you to go over to Lod's house and I need you to pull the plug.
Plug some stuff.
Call his sister. Be like, hey, yo, Lod. I don't know if Lod has a sister, but if he does." So I mean, looks like just a disconnect. We'll get him back in this game shortly. Like that. And this game will get on pause here soon. Right now, we're only looking at a 4K gold lead. At 30 minutes into the game, that's not super huge, right? No one's got one major item over another in terms of carries, at least not from what I can see. I think, though, what we are seeing, the biggest, factor so far this game is that the blue team is able to bait the red team into an area on the map that they don't want to be in, which is getting them caught by a Sejuani and a Rumble ult. And then they can follow that up. I mean, I didn't even think about this. I mean, they could just follow that with Varus ult, right? Like, then what?
Well, I mean, that's what we've been talking about pretty much the entire setting up for that fight. It's like, it's a pretty disgusting comp, and then they even have some good disengage and follow up with Janna, and You know, you can, again, it's like ours is kind of one of those like filler CC champions that like you land that big huge AOE team fight ults and like lock them down, and in the middle of all that, while they're held in play, it's like Ari just for fun can just lock down another person for a couple seconds because it's the easiest skill shot in the world to hit them then. And yeah, I mean, and she actually also has some really good AOE just kind of with orbs thrown across the team as well. So I mean, really solid team comp, and I think, you know, again, like we kind of talked about, like GGIce's team was kind of like, this is like our ride or die people where we feel comfortable with, like make some dunks. Hopefully, it's like some cool stuff happens. I mean, that's kind of like their team comp going in, and it's, I mean, they're not necessarily like, I mean, they're not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. They're not even that far behind, but at the same time, it's like it just makes their job that much harder. Like they need to. They're kind of almost counting on, one, they have to not make their own mistakes. There's many times, too, where it's just like they've put themselves in the position for blue team to be successful. They need to get out in more open ground or places where they can kind of maybe like bait out an ult or get a pick off before, so they can kind of take some part of this team comp out so that they don't have to just fight it straight up.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would definitely want to see. I just don't know how they're going to be able to do that. The front line right now is pretty strong with the way they're setting it up for Sejuani to just ult and hit 2 or 3 members, and no one can really take that right now. The tankiest member for the red team is Jarvan, and he's not tanky enough, even with that bulwark, and he's building health. So
yeah, I mean, again, it's just like one of those things where it's like I don't think it's like necessarily something that can solve this in a straight up team fight. They're not going to win a team fight. They just have to hope that Roshan's team makes a mistake somewhere, and then they can just get a pick off and then go from there, because it's not going to happen otherwise. Like, they're not going to be able to fight them straight up 5v5 at this point. They're going to need maybe like a lot of softening up, and Roshan's team just kind of like, again, like kind of like they got caught before where they just like stayed too long, took the turret, gave a bunch of kills, and let them get a dragon. I mean, that's the kind of level it needs to be. Now they're heading over towards Baron. We're going to see possibly some counter ward go down, though they're on top of a pink ward, and they actually have, looks like they don't actually have the wards to test this out. So actually to Justin.
And his reaction is going to be so good that he should be able to get out of this. Yeah, there's the ult. He's like, I'm out. Peace, bitches.
Ironically, reaction wasn't even that good, but still got out. Like, nicely done. And, you know, just kind of not necessary, the fact that they had to sit there on top of a pink ward, but, you know, good information gathering, I guess, nonetheless. They know it is warded now, but they can come back out with a bunch of wards, gain vision advantage, and just kind of pick a fight over Baron if they can. And if they do, then, you know, especially if they get him to come down that ramp and catch him on the ramp towards Baron, like, I mean, again, it's just another perfect place for their team comp to work its magic and win another team fight. And so, ball's in Roshan's court right now. Even without a big league, just like their team comp, if they can pull a team fight, it's going to be a lot stronger than red teams.
Yeah, and there's that Oracle that I talked about 10 minutes ago. Roshan does have it, and I think they felt that they have the confidence to set up a Baron fight, or set up any sort of fight where they can get the enemy team out, outside, out of lane, and I think that's the fight they want. Ooh, GGIce. I would run. I would I would get out of dodge. And,
good double speed buff to actually get him out and disengage. Actually, got some good poke here. I mean, this is kind of the stuff they need to do. Hopefully, we don't see blue team actually stack up and sustain off of any pushes or anything like that. Or they can go into the jungle. But if they can keep just getting good poke harass in here from Jace, then it'll start to even out. You see Roshan already very, very low, and this is kind of the factor that they need now. Roshan now is not the critical piece that needs to have a bunch of health for them to team fight, but it does help them at least like overall in the team fight. Maybe he'll be incidental casualty if they do get in a 5v5. And now, good wards coming back. We're clearing out and just setting up those wards for the Baron. It looks like they're actually just going to kick it off here. So we'll see how fast they collapse. They're going to see him coming. We'll see how this gets tearing down. And they don't have Caitlyn coming because they had to defend against that super minion push. So now it's up to a J4
and
smite steal.
And GGIce doesn't have any sort. Oh,
not going to be able to get it. Baron's going to go to blue team, and nicely done, executed right there. Playing the map like they should. Now they're going to be able to go, if they want, go buy up, run down lane, or they could just do a push. But I think they're just going to go back, buy up, get get their carry stacked, and then they can just push down any turret they want. And they already have good wards set up because they were setting up for Baron into the enemy jungle, so they can start to do some serious rotate action. Even have all their lanes pushed up as well, so they're going to have a good, nice little buffer here. Just come out and put some more pressure on.
Yeah, Griffle now with 300 CS, just about 10 ahead of Laud, but it doesn't quite have the kills that Laud does.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah.
So he did finish his last Whisper, so he's got pretty much all the damage items he's going to want at this point. He's probably, I don't know if he's going to build maybe another damage item or go into, ooh.
Yeah, that's nice timing right there. And we're going to see Barrier come through, but the flash after gonna seal the deal, and yeah, that's a pickoff they could not afford. Unfortunately, Fizz caught top, just kind of laning it out there. Sejuani pushing up the mid lane, so they're actually going to have their lanes pushed. As you can see, Ari actually doing work here, and they're just going to be able to start that siege game back and forth. We got 40 seconds for Fizz. Now, he does have ability boots and home guard, so he's going to come out really, really quick. The problem is there going to be a turret for him to come out and defend by the time he is up?
So my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Blue team's got a real strong advantage right now. They've got the bot lane inhibitor, which I think they could take at any point if it does respawn. And they could just, doesn't go and force a fight there. They're pressuring top and mid lane right now, so they're probably going to have themselves set up for an easy turret and or second hit soon, now that they have Baron for this extra sustain. They don't need to really worry about that Jace poke that was kind of preventing them from pressuring a turret earlier. So the point I'm trying to get is, Justin's been kind of strong.
Oh. And yeah, that's all sorts of trouble as they come in here. We actually see some work in the backlines by Fizz, trying to get on to Laud and clean that up. Caitlyn actually doing some serious work here. Laud actually in a lot of trouble. Going to be taken down, and Justin actually getting taken down too. So Blue Time
my goodness,
thought that
what
they
is
were doing
going
some
on
work.
here?
Took a lot of damage going in. Actually, they didn't get a lot of bang. Oh no, laziness might cause a kill, but no, the flash gonna save the day. Gate shot through the fog of war, not gonna pick up anybody, but yeah, just a lot of engagement, and I think they weren't really in the Rumble ult, so that actually wasn't a really big, huge factor for them. So yeah, I mean, just kind of nicely executed by them defensively. Problem is they still have the base turret, and they can now 5 push and get 2 inhibitors now if they really want to. So that's the downside. Even though they were able to pick up some kills there.
And this would be the longest dragon kill of all time.
These two guys are beasts of war.
These two champions.
Look at that extra bonus AD to Sejuani. That's doing wonders right now. Dragon's just fearing it.
I think the dragon is just going to die from boredom. He's just like, So it looks like they did pick up that mid inhib. It looks like they did finish off that mid inhib. They're going to group up, and I'm sure they're going to take that bottom inhib for free. They're going to spend a lot of the gold they just acquired. Even though they traded 3 for none, they still got that inhib. They still picked up a base turret. They also picked up a dragon.
Inhib base turret, they could. I mean, worst case scenario, they got ace there. It's still worth it for their team comp at this point. So, I mean, overall, there's not much red team can do now at this point, because they basically just get to kind of drowned here, and they basically just have to play from their base. They're not going to be able to go out, and the fact that they were able to get that blue buff, they just did. That's just a blessing, because they're not going to get to see a lot more of those as this game goes on, unless they're able to start to win a few more team fights here. Because again, like you said, now
would be the time though. There's no Baron buff. In theory, though, they're only like 3 or 4K gold down.
Yeah, which isn't a lot, but again, it's just the team comp is so much better than red teams.
And they could probably feel pretty confident, man. They just won that last team fight, even though they get put in hib. They won, it's like 3 for none.
Well, this is also the environment they want to fight in. Like we were talking about earlier, it's like you're in the jungle, you're in a really tight spot. It's hard to get out of Rumble ults after you get ulted and stuff like that. In this case, they're around an inhibitor. They're kind of in the wide open. And it's a better environment for them to come in here. And Blue just kind of waiting for the rest of their lanes to kind of push in, so they can try to get someone out somewhere else, so that they can push in with confidence and just kind of take it.
Yeah, I mean,
top turret actually just taking a lot of the brunt of it right now. They're just going to play this waiting game.
Red team playing smart. They're not grouping up. They're not clumping yet. And I think they've learned 2 or 3 times now that we can't eat the Sejuani Rumble ult on top of that with Varus. So They want to avoid getting charmed, but it looks like Jarvan's going to go in. Cataclysm.
Really good initiation, holds them all in. We're actually going to see the ult come out from Janet to try to reset. A lot of members picked off right now. Lod's still very much up, though, and alive, and going to be able to clean this up. Stoning now picked up in the background as well, so that is actually going to be the inhibitor. So good initiate, but again, they just don't quite have enough to deal with, like, the counter AoE teamfight damage that is built into blue team, and now they're rotating up with a creep wave pushing in here. Actually has some damage already on there from minions, and going to be able to easily pick this up. Going to land the Fire Assault, but going to be killed. Luckily, Jace able to help pick that up, and Ari just waiting for those cooldowns to turn this one around, but not able to do it. Griffle, ace in the hole, count it, double kill, and again, just a little bit too short on there, and Caitlyn being an AD carry coming through with that lifesteal and attack damage, protecting your team from certain defeat, especially if they had 3 inhibitors down. But again, still struggling. Like, I mean, the goal isn't that big, but it's just the map position and the state of the game that they're in. I mean, blue team still has, all of the top turrets, top and bottom turrets up, and they're only down 1 turret, like in mid lane. So
yeah, I mean, this is kind of the age-old cliche, but structures win game, right? And
well, it's not. Yeah, it's not kills. Like earlier on, it's like, oh, they have 3 more kills, but they don't have that much more goal. It's like, it's the objectives that really win teams games. There's that global gold.
Even though they might trade, 2 for 3 or 3 for 2 or even trade, they're still coming ahead with objectives. Whether in the earlier case it was Baron, because they had that first early inhib. Now they've got 2 inhibs and a naked, top level inhib. Although I'm gonna have to say it, the red team still got a shot. If they could win, one. I mean,
they need a few more team fights to win, and the problem is they need all their inhibitors to come up. Because unless their inhibitors are up, they can't even push. Like, if they win a team fight, they can't really actually push out and do anything.
And they can't really contest Baron because there's going to be so many creeps. But, bot lane is got a pretty good push. Mid inhibitor just came up, and Baron did just respawn. So we will see. It looks like Fizz might be backing, and this would not be a good time for Fizz to back. He's going to do it anyways because he's got home guard mobility boots. The question is, do we have an Oracle here for GGIce? It looks like he does have a pink ward, and that might not be enough.
And there's going to be the fight. It's going to go down one way or the other.
Yeah, Baron's gone.
J4 looks like he's going to be late to the party. Jumps in there, puts off the ult, and they're going to fight this one out, or they're just going to give up J4. And I mean, at this point, if J4 goes in and he doesn't get the Baron still, they pretty much are just donezo, because now it's 5 up with Baron buff versus a 4-man, and you have super creep starting to push into your base. And blue team, driver's seat still. And now they're going to put the pedal to the metal.
This be the time for Fizz to make a play from behind. But that's not going to happen. They're going to try and clear out these waves, but they're going to be down 3 inhibs. And at this point, a team with Baron and 3 inhibs, not really much you can do. But it was a close game. Oh.
He had some good damage, but yeah, that's it right there. Griffle's down. They pretty much got nothing left here. They're going to get the Guardian Angel on Jace. Jace's going to fall in return. Rumble actually going to go down to turrets because that appears to be... he's still alive, actually. Scrap Shields comes out of the darkness, but... Oh, no. And yeah, that's it for red team. Going to be able to close out the rest of these next turrets. Clean up the inhibitor just because. And Justin sitting there, auto-attack battling Lulu right now. Think he's has a good shot at winning that one, and well done by Roshan Now's team. They're going to move on to the finals, and we'll be bringing you more action soon as we get to go to round 3 and see actually who won on the ROW Media 3 channel between Zik and Satsulo.
That game did just finish up as well, and it looks like they were tuned into us. So